morning, darling.
Ben, hi.
I thought these might cheer you up.
Oh, they're lovely, thank you. Bruce asked you to come, didn't he?
Well, yes, he did, but I wanted to come, too. I'm sorry I haven't been here for the last couple of days, but I've been very tied up with Ben's trial. I know you've heard about Ben's trial. Bruce said that you wanted to testify in Ben's defense. And he also said that he persuaded you not to do it. Are you angry with him?
Oh, no, I'm not angry. Just disappointed. I guess Bruce knows what's best for Ben, and that's what I want, what's best for Ben. I guess I wouldn't make a very good witness anyway.
That's a very sensible attitude. Now, where do you want these flowers?
On the table would be nice.
Okay.
Thanks. They really do a lot to brighten up the room.
I'm glad you like them. Now, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Do you want to talk about the trial?
No, I don't think so. It would just start me worrying.
All right. Now, let's see. How about me telling you all about Susie?
Oh, I would love to hear, but can I be perfectly honest with you?
Well, of course. If talking about Susie is going to upset you...
Oh, no, it's not that. It's just that, well, I was up until all hours worrying about Ben last night, and I couldn't get very much sleep.
I'm sorry. Why didn't you ask the nurse for a sedative?
Oh, I did. And I did go to sleep for a while. But then I woke up and started worrying about his being acquitted again. It was really awful.
Do you want to talk about it?
No, I think I've come to terms with my feelings. It's just that I'm terribly tired. I really would just like to go to sleep. You wouldn't be offended, would you?
Well, of course not. You doze off. I'll read a magazine and I'll be right here when you wake up. And then I'll tell you all about Susie's latest escapades and Mother and Timothy's wedding.
Well, I would really love to hear about everyone, but to tell you the truth, I don't think I could go to sleep with you in the room. I've never been able to do that, you know. It just makes me kind of nervous, knowing that someone's here. It makes me feel as though I should stay awake and talk to you. You wouldn't be very hurt if I asked you not to stay.
Well, of course not. Not if that's what you really want.
Maybe you could come back and visit with me tomorrow and catch me up on everyone at home.
All right. Do you want anything before I leave?
No, thanks. Are you going to court?
If you don't need me here.
Well, would you call and tell me what's happened when it's all over?
Of course. Maybe I should stay here. I mean, not in the room here, but out in the waiting room. And that way I'll be here when you wake up.
No, please don't stay. It would just make me nervous knowing that you were going to miss the trial. You just let me know if there's any news.
Of course I will.
I'm just so tired. Just so sleepy.
I cannot bear all this waiting. Why don't they get started?
Now, Meg, they'll begin any minute.
Scream, yell, holler. I don't care. I could kill Mia. I can't believe she'd get up in that stand and lie. Just plain out and out lie about what she said to Betsy on the phone.
Ben, will you cut it out? What's done is done. Don't look at her if it makes you angry. Now, Ben, you've got to get control of yourself. That's essential. One more outburst from you and we'll lose this ball game.
Okay. All right, just like 5 minutes alone with her, though. Just 5 minutes.
Why don't you watch where you're going?
I'm terribly sorry. I hope I didn't hurt you.
You hurt all of us with your slanderous testimony.
I'm sorry if the truth offends you, Meg. You'll excuse me.
The truth does not offend me. You do.
Meg, please, you're only making things...
Oh, Mother, do not treat me like
now,
a child.
Meg, here, please, calm yourself.
Well, it seems they're somewhat rattled. The whole family. I think we've got him. We've got Ben right where we want him,
You
Mia.
mean that you have him right where you want him? You want to lock him up and throw away the key, don't you?
Isn't that what you've been waiting for?
No. Yes. I don't know. I don't think I like you, Elliot. I don't think I like you at all.
All rise and come to order. This court is now in session. You may be seated.
Is the defense counsel ready to make his closing statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Ben Harper should not be on trial here today. He should be at Rose Hill Hospital with Betsy Lang, his fiancée, helping her to convalesce from a tragic accident, which happened, as all accidents do, unexpectedly. The only evidence against the defendant is that two fishermen in a boat some distance away from Mr. Harper and Mrs. Lang heard them arguing, and that later, when they were even farther away, they saw him with an oar in his hands. Yes, they saw it in several positions, even raised over his head, but they did not, I repeat, did not see Mr. Harper touch Mrs. Lang with that oar. Now then, let's examine the testimony of the two fishermen, since this is the meat of the prosecution's case. Were Ben and Betsy arguing? The defense has not only stipulated that, but Mr. Harper has told the court about the argument from the witness stand. Why? Because he has nothing to hide. Ladies and gentlemen, I submit that there's not a happy couple in this courtroom or in this country who hasn't had an argument. Now, Mr. Harper has testified that when he and Mrs. Lang were in a small rowboat in the middle of the lake, a snake emerged from under the seat where Mrs. Lang was sitting, and that he, Ben Harper, picked up an oar in an effort to kill the snake to protect Mrs. Lang. But the snake so frightened Mrs. Lang that she jumped to her feet, causing the boat to overturn. The district attorney has impugned the testimony of my client, even questioning the existence of the snake. He has furthermore stated that even if there had been a snake, it would not have frightened Mrs. Lang sufficiently to cause the boat to overturn. That no snake would make you react with such a violent movement as Mr. Harper has described.
Objection! Objection! Objection, Your Honor! I object to these theatrics!
Objection sustained. Will the counsel for the defense please confine himself to a verbal presentation?
Yes, Your Honor. No disrespect to the court was intended.
Oh.
I'll relieve you of this, madam.
Yeah.
Now, as I was saying, the sudden appearance of a snake can cause a rather violent reaction.
Mrs. Johnson's off today, so Mrs. Lang, you're dressed? I don't understand.
No, I have to go to court. I have to testify.
No. You're not supposed to be out of bed. Sit down.
No, either you get me a cab or I'll have to do it myself.
Okay, wait. I'll call Dr. Crawford.
Hi.
Hi.
Have you spoken to Kim today?
Why?
Well, I talked to her and she seemed terribly upset. I think it's because we're getting married so soon.
Well, I haven't been able to really talk to her for days. I mean, we can't talk in front of Tron, but I'm sure she's accepted our marriage.
I wish I could believe that.
You've got to. Look, I'll find out what's wrong. Trust me.
Hey, you look like you've been hit by a truck.
What's the matter? Is April sick? It isn't Arlene, is it?
Well, you might as well know.
What?
What's happened?
Arlene and I have split up.
Oh, no.
I don't believe you.
Oh, you two, Tony and I talk about you two all the time. We want our marriage to be just like yours.
No, you don't.
We always think of you as the perfect couple. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Let's just call it irreconcilable differences and leave it at that, huh? I moved out. I'm at the Rose Hill Inn now. I have lots of work to do.
Ray,
Yeah.
look, no matter what's wrong, I know you and Arlene will get back together.
No way, Tony.
Look, we're like brothers, right?
Yeah, sure.
And you've always told me that I could talk to you if I was in trouble. Well, I'm here for you, too. So why don't you tell me what's wrong? Maybe I can help.
Thanks. No, there's nothing that anybody can do now. Hey, look, I just don't feel like talking about it, okay?
Okay.
Betsy, you can't go to court. You're not well enough.
Please, Tom. It's not just Ben who's on trial. It's our future. His, mine, Susie's. I can't let him go back to prison. It would kill him. And I wouldn't want to live either. Now, you can help me or not. But I'm going, and no one's going to stop me.
All right. I'll help you. Kim, bring a wheelchair for us, please.
Yes, Doctor.
Hi.
Oh, Tony, what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm sorry to barge in on you at work, but I've got to talk to you. And they told me at the nurse's station you were in here. Isn't this Betsy Lang's room?
Betsy insisted on going to Ben's trial. Her brother took her just now, and she's going to testify.
Is she well enough?
I don't know. Dr. Crawford couldn't stop her. I hope she'll be all right.
Me too.
Can't you pick up Tron this afternoon? Shall I call a sitter?
No, it isn't that. I'll be by for him at the regular time. I just wanted to talk to you alone.
What is it?
We've always been honest with each other, haven't we?
Yes, I think so.
Well, something's wrong. You've been depressed. Even Tron noticed it. He asked me why his mommy was so sad yesterday. Kim, is it because Bambi and I are finally getting married?
You've never lied to me about that. And if it hadn't been for me, you and Bambi would have been married months ago.
Well, then what is it?
It's Jean Chang. She's very sick. I wanted to tell you, but you've been so busy.
Well, what's the matter?
She's dying. I've known her for almost a week. And now all she wants is to spend as much time as she can with Tron. Oh, Tony, if it weren't for them, Tron wouldn't be as happy as he is now.
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm terribly sorry to hear about Jean. She's so young and such a lovely woman.
I know. I want to make her last days as happy as possible. So I agreed to take Tron there for a visit, to let her be with him. But I hate to take him away from you, even for a little visit.
Look, don't worry about me. I think you're doing a fine thing. Maybe I should go with you.
No. This is something I have to do.
Well,
You belong here with Bambi.
Well, when do you want to go?
Next week?
Okay. I'll get you the plane tickets. All right?
Thank you.
And Ben Harper loves Betsy Lang. He saved her life, only to find his own in jeopardy because of a character assassination at the hands of the prosecution, which has presented wholly circumstantial evidence. No one claims to have seen Ben Harper strike Mrs. Lang. The blown-up pictures offered by the prosecution show no such thing. The testimony of the two fishermen proves nothing. I would like to remind the jury that if there is a reasonable doubt, I repeat, a reasonable doubt that a crime was committed, then they must acquit the defendant. And ladies and gentlemen of the jury, there was no crime. There was nothing more than a tragic accident. Ben Harper is innocent. Send him to his fiancée's side where he belongs.
Mr. Lang?
Prosecution. If there is reasonable doubt that Ben Harper assaulted his fiancée with intent to commit murder, if there is reasonable doubt that his assault on this defenseless pregnant woman caused the premature stillbirth of her child, then by all means he should be acquitted. But the prosecution is satisfied that there is no reasonable doubt, none at all. Ben Harper is a man given to violence. As I have shown, as this courtroom has witnessed on several occasions, Ben Harper is a man who was carrying on an affair with Mrs. Mia Marriott at the very time he was begging Betsy Lang to marry him. On the day, or the day before the assault, and make no doubt it was a deadly assault, Ben Harper had a strenuous argument with Betsy Lang. His grandmother and others in the household grew alarmed at the sound of his raised voice. We have testimony to that. We also have testimony that Ben Harper persuaded Mrs. Betsy Lang to go up to the lake with him in order to amend their differences. And we have heard Mia Marriott testify to a telephone call that ended that temporary truce between Betsy Lang and Ben Harper. After that telephone call, Mrs. Betsy Lang ran out of the cabin to escape Ben Harper's rage. She got into a boat to hide from him. He pursued her. He rowed the boat out to the middle of the lake where he continued his violent argument with her. His uncontrollable rage finally led him to pick up an oar. This oar! And bring it down on Betsy Lang's head. And then he finally used it to knock her into the water in certain death.
No, no!
Betsy,
No! No, Ben wouldn't do that. That's not the way it happened at all.
Order in the court.
Betsy.
Bruce, I want to testify. I have to, please.
What's the meaning of this disturbance?
Your Honor, may I approach the bench?
By all means, please.
Your Honor, Betsy Lang has gotten out of her hospital bed to come here to testify in behalf of my client. I'd like to ask for a short recess to determine whether or not to ask for a motion to reopen the defense.
You can't do this. Your Honor, he can't do the defense cannot open their case again. Besides, Betsy's too ill to testify.
Mr. Lang, let me be the judge.
Did Hal come back yet?
No, not yet. And I hope he doesn't. Why did you have to tell him Ray'd be back soon?
Look, Bambi, Hal is a reasonable man and a responsible police officer. Maybe he can straighten out this misunderstanding between Ray and Arlene.
Maybe he's the reason for the misunderstanding in the first place.
Come on, hun. I mean, you put me down for even playing with that idea a little while ago.
I know, but I've been thinking about what you said, and you could be right. He was up in those mountains with Arlene for a long time, and it's obvious he's got a case on her.
Well, yeah, but you got to admit that's pretty flimsy evidence.
Yeah, I know, but it's enough to make Ray suspicious. You know how jealous he is.
What are you two looking so serious about?
Nothing. I was just telling him that I got all the stuff ready for your income tax man. How was your trip?
Yeah, lots of traffic. Any messages?
Messages?
Yeah, messages.
No. Were there?
That's right.
All right, wait a minute. What's going on? You two are hiding something.
Okay. Hal Carson was here looking for you.
He was? And I'll bet he went right over to see Arlene.
Oh, Tony.